Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to paint few more Christmas card, and for today's painting I am using this 400 GSM watercolors sheet. This is quite thick as compared to 300 GSM. So if you are using 400 GSM, you don't have to use masking tape for today's painting. Otherwise I would suggest please use masking tape, because today we are going to use wet and wet technique to create some snowy background and pine trees. So let's start with the first one. So again, I'm not using masking tape because my sheet is quite thick. So if you are using a standard watercolor sheet, please use masking tape to cover the edges. Now I'm applying water thoroughly to the sheet. So wetten your sheet thoroughly, and then with the blue and purple color apply very light shade of these color to make the background. I'm adding these randomly, and few areas I'm adding little dark shade. Apply more water if needed and blend the color properly. I'm keeping this particular background little on the lighter side, and then sprinkle some clean water. This gives you a very nice effect, and then sprinkle some white color. So I'm using very concentrated white color. Don't use very watery white color. Try to use little concentrated white color. You can use gouache as well or acrylic color as well, and then sprinkle some table salt. This gives a very nice effect in your background. And I think this one is pretty much done, and we can keep it aside. We can start over once it gets dried completely. You can sprinkle more white if you want, and then let it dry, let it rest for some time, and then we will work on the second background. So this time the background would be little darker as compared to the first one, and this one is like a night view kind of. So again I'm repeating the same thing. I'm applying water, and then with the help of black and purple color I'm adding little dark shade to make a little night effect. Here you can add all the snowy color. I'm adding blue, purple and black for this one. I'm keeping this particular area little dark as compared to the other. And then blend color with the water. Again I'm not using masking tape because my sheet is quite thick. This is 400 GSM watercolor sheet. And once you are satisfied with the background color, sprinkle some water, some white color like we did in the first one. Keep the white color little concentrated. Sprinkle some clean water as well, and then sprinkle some table salt. For the table salt, your sheet should not be too watery or should not be too dry, so keep that thing in mind. I'm sprinkling more white, and then I think we are done with the background. Let it rest for some time and let it dry. And you can also use hair dryer to dry it. Now as you can see, my sheet is quite dry, and I can remove now the table salt slowly with the soft hand. You can also use brush to remove these table salt. This one is little wet still, so I'm going to keep it aside, and we're going to start with the first one. So this one is like daytime. I'm going to add 2 pine tree here in this particular area. These pine tree are on the loose side, so I'm adding 1 pine tree with the help of blue color. So apply small branches at the top and bigger branches at the bottom. So assume you have to create a triangle kind of shape by applying branches or leaf kind of structure randomly. The top branches should be smaller than the bottom, and so on. So that's the only thing we have to consider while painting these trees. With the light shade and dark shade, you can add texture around the leaves. And then I'm going to create one more tree, little smaller as compared to the first one, and with the help of purple color. Again, I'm following the same step. You can also do a little bit of overlapping between blue and purple. The table salt gives you a very nice cloudy or snowy effect in your background, so don't forget to use these table salt to create your background, because background is important for these kind of painting. You can go back and forth multiple times around the branches and the leaves. I'm adding little dark shade of blue. Likewise, you can go back and forth multiple times, but don't overdo it. And then create some snow at the bottom. So I'm simply spreading some color and applying white color into it. Now with the help of very concentrated color of white, I'm adding more snow into the pine trees. You can do it with the acrylic color as well, but if you are doing this step with the help of watercolor, make sure you are using very concentrated color. Do not use watery color. And then sprinkle more white into it. And I think we are done with the first one. Now let's finish the second one. Now for the second one as well, I'm going to add more pine trees into it. So this is like night effect. So my pine trees are on the darker shade. So I'm going to use blue and black color to create some pine trees in here. This time I'm creating a group of pine trees, so it will resembles like it has multiple group of pine trees in here, or pine jungle you can say. I'm adding 2 blue pine trees, and then I'm going to add 1 big black tree. At the end, it should look like it has multiple trees in here. Create main branch and then add smaller branches, sub branches at the top, and then increase the size as you're going towards the downward direction. Add leaf kind of structure. So the idea behind these greeting card is you can create different background using different colors and texture, and then you can add pine trees, or you can add Christmas ornaments or something like that to in the foreground to make different greeting cards. You can also use different shades of trees, and you can also use different shapes of trees to add in here to make different greeting cards. Overlap some black pine trees with the blue. And I think we are done with the trees here. Now with the help of concentrated white color, add more snow into it. Sprinkle some white again into it. As we are using watercolor to sprinkle white, that's why we have to repeat this process again and again. But if you are using gouache color or acrylic color, you don't have to repeat it. And I think we are done with both the greeting cards. Now we can write something in here. You can write anything, whatever you like. I'm writing simple Merry Christmas. Very simple greeting cards. You just need to consider few things like we need to use masking tape if you are using less than 400 GSM watercolor sheet. If you are using table salt for background, make sure your sheet is not too wet or not too dry. And then you can add foreground with different things like pine trees or Christmas ornaments or whatever you like. So please do let me know if you have any feedback for me, and thank you so much for all your love and support, and thank you so much for watching.